Hello, this is Dr. Boris with Uplift Universe Media, and today on our special segment called the Iliad Stories from the Unstoppable Book of I Can, I'd like to introduce to you a second person who has made a significant impact on our world and on humanity. He's no longer with us, and may God bless his soul, but he is still a shining beacon and a great example of a person who has shown us how to be resilient and strong in the face of adversity. This special person is Nelson Mandela. And today I'd like to tell you his story. May it strengthen you and give you the power to persevere and continue facing life's adversities with great pride. The Iliad of Nelson Mandela, a journey of resilience and triumph. In the heart of Africa, where the winds do sing, a boy named Mandela rose destined to be king. Not of riches, nor of crown, but of justice where none could bring him down. Born in Wezo, where the earth was dry, Nelson dreamed beneath the sky. A child of wisdom, a heart so bold, he longed for freedom in the stories told. But shadows cast by a pressing hand tore through his beloved homeland. The laws were harsh, the rules cruel. Mandela stood against their rule. In the streets of Johannesburg they mocked his name, for he dared to speak of freedom's flame. His voice, though strong, met fist and blows from those who feared the truth he chose. They called him names, they cast him low, but Nelson's fire would only grow. He joined the fight, the ANC, a beacon for the world to see. His words were fierce, his heart was kind, with justice always in his mind. He marched for peace, he led with grace, he sought to lift his people's face. But those in power, blind with hate, sought to seal Mandela's faith. They arrested him, they locked him tight, to crush his spirit, to dim his light. The trial came, his sentence long, 27 years it seemed so wrong. For in Robben's Island, cold embrace, they thought they'd break his steadfast pace. All the years were long, the nights were cold, but Mandela's spirit refused to fold. The guards would jeer, they'd spit and sneer, but Nelson's heart would not know fear. They forced him to labor, breaking stones, his body weary, his skin like bones. They starved his hope, they crushed his pride, but deep inside he could not hide. Behind those bars, in dark despair, he learned the art of patience there. For emotional intelligence became his shield. In silence, his wounded soul was healed. Each day the guards would mock his pain, but Nelson's will they could not contain. He taught his people strength in chains, that from his darkness freedom reigns. He read, he learned, his mind was bright. He knew that freedom was still in sight. For though his body was confined, his thoughts were free, his soul aligned. For 27 years in prison's grasp, Mandela held his dream so fast. He would emerge, though bruised and torn, to see his nation, a world reborn. And then one day the walls did fall. The world rejoiced. They heard the call. Mandela stepped into the light, a leader born from endless night. He did not rise with words of hate, but called for peace to mend the state. I forgive, he said, with grace untold, for freedom's fire he would hold. He stood as tall as mountains high, with wisdom shining in his eye. His path was clear, his heart so pure. He sought a peace that would endure. Elected by his people's hand, Mandela helped to heal the land. With self-belief and kindness strong, he righted years of ancient wrong. His philosophy of helping others, he sought to make all races brothers, no longer bound by hate and fear. He led them with a voice so clear. The truth and reconciliation too, a process to make hearts anew. He brought them forward, black and white, to speak their truth, to end the fight. With selfless acts of love and grace, he lifted every weary face, a president, but more than that, a leader with a humble head. But Mandela's work did not cease there, for philanthropy became his care. He built schools, he fought HIV to heal his land from misery. He taught the world that love is kind, that through forgiveness peace we find. His efforts spread across the globe, a shining light in human robes. Mandela's Day, a day of giving, where all the world is called to living, for others, for a higher cause, to change the world, to mend its flaws. Through all his trials, his endless fight, Mandela showed the path to light. His core philosophy was clear and bright, a call to self-belief and doing right. He sought to help, to lift, to free, to make the world what it could be. With every word, with every stride, Mandela stood unshaken, wide. His resilience unmatched, untold. In every battle he was bold. His emotional intelligence refined, turned every prison into gold. With selfless acts of love and grace, he helped the world to find its place, a hero, not for what he gained, but for the freedom he maintained. Now in the world his name resounds, a voice of peace that knows no bounds. For Nelson Mandela, once in chains, had turned his loss into humanity's gains. He showed the world through endless pain that forgiveness can remove the stain, that hope once dim can grow so bright and lead the world towards the light. And in the hearts of every soul he planted seeds that make us whole. For Mandela's story, brave and grand, has built a legacy across the land. So now we sing of Nelson's quest, a man who passed the greatest test. He turned his prison into a stage and led his people to a new age. His story is a tale of might, of resilience that turned dark to light. A hero forged in the fires of pain, whose spirit broke oppression's chain. And when the world is dark and cold, his story, like a tale of old, will guide us all through storm and strife to freedom, love, and endless life. For Nelson's journey, long and wide, has taught us to stand with pride. His strength, his heart, his soul so free will live on in eternity. Thank you, and go towards goodness.